there are some patterns when you're multiplying out binomials or foiling them, or the distributive property, whatever you want to call it. And it happens with the one we looked at it right at the end of class yesterday. If it's a plus b all squared, we know that means a plus b times a plus b, right? And so if we're going to distribute it or FOIL it, we go a times a, which is a squared, a times b, which is ab, b times a, which is ab, and b times b, which is b squared. Are there like terms that I can combine in there? AB and AB, which gives me 2AB. Now, leave that for a sec. We'll come back to it. If we have A minus B all squared, that means A minus B times A minus B. We can do the same thing. A times A is A squared. A times negative B, negative AB. Negative B times A is negative AB. And then negative B and negative B is positive B squared. Are there like terms in there? The middle two, right? Which gives us negative 2AB B squared. Okay, we'll leave the last one for a sec here. So you've kind of just created a formula, all right? What it's saying is if you have a binomial that is squared, you're multiplying it by itself. If it's a plus b, the two terms are being added inside. First term's always a squared, the last term's always b squared, and the middle term is 2 times a times b. So for example, if I have x plus 3 all squared, you can, without expanding it, you can just write the answer as, so there's my a, there's my b. A squared, so that's just x squared. B squared, what's 3 squared? 9, that goes right at the end. And this middle term here is 2 times a x times, times b. What's 2 times 3? 6. So the middle term is 6x. When you do this enough, you don't have to write this out like this. You can just go straight to that. Okay? Now, I don't care if you do that. Right? If you want to remember this formula, that's awesome. It makes things a little faster. But if you just went, oh, I just have to FOIL it and did that, you'll get the right answer every time as well. Okay? This is, I don't like the word shortcut, but it's a faster way to do things. Okay? The same thing happens with this one or this. If I had x minus 3 all squared, there's my a, there's my b. So the first term would be a squared, x squared. The last term is b squared. My b is negative 3. If you square it, you get 9. And the middle term is 2ab, but it's a negative, so it's negative 6x plus 9. It's just a faster way to do it. If you want, you don't like that method, and I just showed it to you. Probably don't like it. Doing that and actually writing it out and then FOILing it gives you the exact same answer. It's just an extra step you have to do. Okay? This one, I don't want to say you should remember because you can FOIL this one, but this one, if you remember this, will make your life a lot easier, especially when we get into factoring, which is the next unit that we're going to do. So if I have a minus b times a plus b, everything's the same except one bracket is being subtracted and one bracket is being added. If I multiply these together, so a times a, I get a squared. A times b, I get ab. Negative b times a is negative ab. Negative b times b is negative b squared. What happens to the middle stuff? They disappear. A minus b, or a times b minus ab, and I'm left with a squared minus b squared. This is called a difference of squares, okay? And when we start factoring, it becomes important. So what it means is if you have anything like x plus 1, x minus 1, the brackets are the same. Everything that's in the brackets is the same except one is an addition, one is a subtraction. You could FOIL it out, but the answer is always going to be a squared. That's my a, that's my b, that's my a, that's my b. A squared, so x squared minus whatever b squared is, in this case 1, which is just 1 when you square 1. So you know that's your answer right away. You don't have to do any work. Okay, this will save you a lot of time. So the only one, let's have a look at these here. We'll do D and E. I don't actually care about the other ones. You can FOIL those out. So D, if I look at D, are the numbers inside the brackets the same? Yes. Is one subtracting and one addition? So then all you have to do, if you call that A, the first term A, the second term B, it's always going to be A squared minus B squared. So what's 4 squared? It's going to be 16. I'll actually write it out. It's going to be 4 squared minus 7x all squared, which gives me 16 minus 49x all squared. You don't have to do the FOILing. If you FOILed it out, you get the same answer, but the middle term's all going to cancel. E, are the numbers inside the brackets the same? So you know it's going to be a squared minus b squared. So it's going to be 5al squared minus 3bl squared. What's 5al squared? Where does this 2 go? Goes, sorry? Not 10a, it's 5 squared. 25a squared minus 9b squared. Look, you can FOIL them out and you'll get the right answer. It's just a little bit more work. Okay? All right, this is the main one. This is the main one. I'm not even going to ask you to remember it. If you're going to remember one of these 3, that's the one that I would remember. Okay, everything else you can just FOIL out. But if you don't feel comfortable, just FOIL them all out. Okay? The only question I want you to do is number 1, before we get into this. And I want you to do B, E, H, and J. Yeah. B, E, H, and J, please. Those are all the difference of squares ones. Okay, so now we're going to start multiplying and combining more than just two brackets, binomials. If I'm multiplying 2 times 3 times 4, does the order I do it in matter? Does it? No. It doesn't matter if I go 2 times 3 is 6, times 4 is 24, or I go 3 times 4 is 12, times 2 is 24. When you're multiplying, the order doesn't matter, okay? Same thing applies to this. All these terms are being multiplied. So you can do it in any order you want. It's up to you. What do you want to do here? Do you want to multiply the 5 into this bracket, or do you want to multiply the two brackets together? What do you think is easier? Do the two brackets first? Okay, so if we're going to do the two brackets, we go 2x times x, which is 2x squared. 2x times negative 6, negative 12x. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. And negative 3 times negative 6 is positive 18. That is all being multiplied by 5. So you have to remember that the 5 gets multiplied to everything in there afterwards, okay? Yeah. But we can combine, we can simplify the inside first, right? Because we have negative 12x, negative 3x, which combines to give me negative 15x. And now the 5 gets dumped in. So then I get 10x squared minus 30x and plus 30. Whoa. 5 times 15 is not 30. And 5 times 18 is definitely not 8. Or 5 times 18, yeah. 5 times 15 is negative 75x. That's 50, 40 plus 90. That is your answer. Okay, so don't forget that if you multiply the two brackets, that's fine. Just remember that 5 then gets multiplied to everything that's inside there. Okay. B. What does that mean? Yes. So it means 7p plus 3 times 7p plus 3. Yeah. So it means this. Now, going back to the front page, you don't have to know those formulas, but if you did, you can do this in one step, the 7p plus 3 times 7p plus 3, because I could just go, I'll do it both ways. I know that all of this is going to give me 7p squared is 49p squared. 7 and 3 is 21 times 2 is 42. Plus 42p plus 9. All right, if you remember that formula or you do it enough. If we FOIL it, which I'm assuming most people want to do, then you go 7p times 7p is 49p squared. 7p times 3 is 21p. 21p plus 9. Combine your like terms. And then negative 8 comes down. So if you FOIL it, you get to the same point. It just takes you a little longer to get there. But I don't care. It's up to you. As long as you get the right answer, that's all I really care about. Okay, so what's my final step here? What do I have to do? Negative 8 gets multiplied in. I have no idea what 8 times 49 is. 400 minus 8, 392? Negative. So negative 392 p squared. 32, 350? No, 336. Damn. Minus 336. And then 8 and 9 is negative 72. So there's your answer. Okay? Any questions? All right, all I want you to do is 2A and D. And we'll do a couple more and be done with this lesson. If we are subtracting, okay, what should you do? Brackets. Put brackets around everything you are subtracting. Okay? So now it's like the ones we did in question 2. All right? We have a set of 3 that we're multiplying, a set of 3 that we're multiplying, but we're subtracting those answers from each other. So you have to do them independently. So what do you want to do for this first bit here? Do you want to multiply the brackets or put the 4 in? Brackets? Okay. So we go 2x times 3x. Give yourself a bit of room because it's going to get really long. But then a whole bunch of stuff cancels. So 2x times 3x is 6x. 2x times 2 is 4x. Negative 21x minus 14. Minus, I assume people want to do the brackets in the second bit too. All right, so the 8 just hangs out. X times 3x is 3x squared. X times negative 1, negative x, negative 3x, and plus 1. Okay, what do we do now? This is like a 3-mark question. You do that, you get a mark. How are we going to get another mark? I would put the 4 and the 8 in first, okay? Yep. So we will dump the 4 in first. We'll do this all in different colors. So the 4 goes to all these. You can simplify it first if you want. Do you want to do that first? All right, let's simplify it first. So what combines in the bracket? Yeah, that's 6x squared, right? 6x squared, the squared on it. So 4x and negative 21x, what does that become? Negative 17x. So it's 6x squared minus 17x minus 14. Oh, wait. Second one, negative x, negative 3x is negative 4x. So I have that. Is that better? Make you happy? Or as happy as you can be in math class? Now we dump the 4 and the 8. You can. $40, 68, 6. It's all right. Now you put the negative in. Which just flips all the signs, right? Negative 1. What is my final step? Collect all your like terms, simplify it. So 24x squared minus 24x squared is 0x squared, so they just cancel. Negative 68x plus 32x. It's negative 36x. And then 56 minus 8. Negative 56. Yes. Positive 56. Oh, you know what I did? I made it negative. See how I changed it to positive there? That should be negative. So just put a little minus sign right there and there. So negative 56 minus 8 is negative 64. Okay, so that was actually good that I made a mistake because you can see there's a lot of stuff going on here. All right, so you need to watch your signs. This would be a 3-mark question. You're going to get a mark for this. You're going to get basically a half mark for that, half mark for that, and then you're going to get a mark for simplifying it. So there's your 3 marks. Okay. All right. So just don't leave stuff blank if you don't know what to do. Do something. I will give you part marks. Okay, here's what I'd like you to do. Let's do 2. Let's do 3A. Let's do 4. 4C. And 5E. And as always, do more if you need more. Do all 2, 3, 4, and 5 if you need the extra practice. Okay? I would recommend that.